Yeah, rock and roll, man. Rock and roll. American rock forever. Oh yeah. American rock forever, yeah. Beautiful forest, my man. It's good looking, you know. There's some weird stuff in this forest. Seriously weird, man. Yeah. Hey, what's this thing on the floor, man? It's a letter. It's a letter from me on the floor, man, in the forest. Yeah. You know. Let's see what it says, man. If you're not afraid of the vampires, witches, and ghosts, continue on walking through this dark forest. Hey, man, what baloney is this, man? I don't believe in any of those things. Witches, man, and demons and ghosts. Whatever, man. Somebody's, like teasing me, man, and whatever. You're afraid of the witches and vampires. Can you believe that? Can you believe, what some people would do? Hey, what is that, man? What's that thing in the corner, man? Hello? Would you believe he falls for the same trick every single time? Welcome to my studio. He is trembling with fear currently, so I am going to take over this review for now. Let's get the information out of the way first. Dracula Untold, a 2014 American horror fantasy film directed by Gary Shore and loosely based on the characters of Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1897. Actors are here: Sarah Gaydon, Luke Evans, Dominic, and the one other you see underneath. Budget of the movie is going to be also over here. It was 70 millions invested in this movie, and it grossed 217 million, which should speak for itself. But it doesn't have to. Let us move on. Metacritic score is going to be placed over here on this side. Now, for this I might say that critics were wrong and somebody should say something about it, but trust me, they have been warned. They will not make the same mistakes again. Users were overwhelmed, of course, because the movie in itself is very good. Some of the things were not presented correctly, but we shall talk it through in the story section. Before we continue with this review, consider subscribing to the channel to avoid this possible fate. In the 15th century, Vlad Dracula is the Lord and Prince of Wallachia and Transylvania as well. As a child, he was a ward of the Sultan, who brought him up to be his most feared and bloodthirsty warrior. He was known to impale his enemies on a stake, high up so everybody can see them. He was also known to be Vlad, son of the dragon. During his mature ages, he repented and regretted what he did, retreated, being freed from the Sultan, and now he leads his new empire in peace. What happens is that he and his escort come to a certain stream of the river, and there is a helmet of a Turkish warrior. They think it is the scout. And this stream leads them to the Broken Tooth Mountain, where inside the cave they face the most terrifying of dark creatures. The creature kills Vlad's escorts, while Vlad barely escapes with his life. And when he comes back, he learns that the creature is a vampire. Not soon after, the Sultan sends his men because he thinks that Vlad killed the Turkish scouts and not the vampire. So he says that aside from a tribute he takes from Vlad and his empire, he will also take 1,000 children to serve as soldiers, including his own son. Not willing to do this, Vlad decides to go back to the mountain. He enters inside, and the creature offers him a gift to salvation for both him and himself. He will be freed by giving Vlad some of his power, and if Vlad decides to become a vampire, the original vampire in the Tooth's Mountain will be freed. But that is not all. The story revolves then about Turkish Sultan sending warriors to defeat and subdue Vlad because of his insolence and not wanting to give 1,000 children, including his son. It leads to all-out war, massacre, and you will see what goes later and how the movie ends. I will not spoil it for you. So much for the story. Presentation is up next. Presentation of vampires in each movie is the most important thing you can ever want to see. This one is presented somewhat correctly, although once you are turned into one of my kind, and this I speak from experience, there is no turning back. No 3 days until you feed. You feed, or you go in a state of limbo where you just exist. A skeleton of what a vampire can truly be. We do not turn into bats, the way it is shown in this movie, but I understand the action scenes and necessity for that because it is modern age. If one was to only truly show you what vampires do and how they manipulate the mind and the hearts of creatures, it might be too terrifying to watch or witness. In any case, when he turns all of his assistants into vampires to help him out, somewhere at the end of the movie, they tend to stick to their human emotions, and what they wanted in life, they still want in death, aside from wanting to drink human blood, of course. That is the addition they get. So they are vulnerable to light, to sunlight. These vampires are vulnerable to silver, which simply isn't true. The only thing we are truly vulnerable is sunlight. This movie has a good story. I respect a movie with a good story, even though it is twisted around powers of flight and bat control, and he controls the clouds to summon and block out the sun so he can fight more freely. That thing doesn't happen with my kind. You will soon see for true how my kind is. Now, this video is coming to an end. If you have enjoyed watching this bloody review, consider subscribing to the channel. Put all of your human comments in the comment section below. I might even answer some of them. Until then, good night. And yes, look under the bed and make sure there are no monsters before you go to sleep.